Been feeling stuck in your burlesque journey, maybe you don't need another burlesque class or more rhinestones. Maybe you just need a mindset shift. There are 4 things that came up for my clients this month. I've been doing monthly themed coaching sessions, and for the month of May, the whole theme was choreo boost. There were 4 things that came up that I thought were pretty noteworthy, and I was like, hey, you know what? What if I just share them with the rest of the world? Because I like to share. Just let it be known, I've been doing burlesque since before the iPhone was invented, and I still struggle with all of this stuff. I don't know if struggle is the right word. It's not a struggle. I'm not struggling. I'm having fun, right? That's the whole reason why we got into burlesque, right? We thought it would be something fun to do. It's not like we did it so that we could struggle. But what I will say is I enjoy the challenge. Number 1. You don't need more moves, you need more focus. So I see a lot of acts and y'all are doing everything right, every trick in the book. You know, you're technically proficient, you have the pacing, but the focus isn't there. And a lot of times when we think about focus, we think about looking at the audience and eye contact, and there's always some resistance. And I get it. With eye contact, we may not be physically capable to maintain focus and give eye contact. That's something that I can't do. So I get that. Some people, maybe, you know, it makes you uncomfortable, you lose focus. It doesn't matter. Whatever the case may be, eye contact is hard. You know, we can fake it. When I talk about focus and eye contact, it's not that you actually literally have to do it. You can kind of go through the motions and give the audience the experience of being looked directly into their soul. The thing that I see that's really common, especially for those of us that have some type of physical background like dance or gymnastics or circus or something, we fill up the whole song, every beat. There is no beat that goes unpunished. We are going to find the beat and we are going to beat on the beat. But when you have so much choreography and so many moves, it can be hard to process everything. And burlesque is not dance, burlesque is tease. Burlesque is comedy, burlesque is satire, it's subversion. So over choreography or maybe doing too much, just like wild, reckless, abandon type moves, it can dilute your message a little bit. So don't forget that focus can really help grab the audience's attention, not necessarily more tricks or more rhinestones. If you're trying to implement this in one of your acts, you can watch a video of your act, which you do that, right? You're watching the videos of your rehearsals and your shows. You can watch your act and say, where's an area where I can actually do less, but it's gonna make everything better? And if you need help with that, give me a call or an email. People don't call people anymore, do they? Leave a message on my answering machine and I'll be I'll be happy to help you. I'll reach you via direct mail and a fax. Tip number 2. You have to learn to make the tension unbearable sometimes, especially if you're doing traditional gown and glove, traditional classic style burlesque. Make the tension unbearable. Make them squirm in their seat. Let them know who's boss. Don't let them forget who's running the show. It's not them. It's you. And your timing and pacing is everything. Slow burn is something we hear a lot in burlesque. It's a tool. Controlling the tempo, that's the strategy. And when you control the tempo, you control the whole room. And when you control the room, everyone's like, wow, that is a very good performer. Tease requires edge. You have to edge the audience a little bit. If they're not yearning, aching, leaning in, just a little bit, even for a split second, it's a missed opportunity for a deep emotional connection, I think, in my opinion. Okay, so how do you fix this? You kind of go back to number 1. You remember where I said, where can you do less, but it's going to make everything better? That maybe is going to help you create some unbearable tension, right? So doing less, maybe setting up some pattern or motif and then breaking it or subverting it. That's another way to keep the audience on their toes, keep them guessing, keep them in a state of anticipation. When you're watching your video, for this one, you can ask yourself, where can I just slow down just a little bit? Just stretch it out a little bit longer. I suggest doing it on some article of clothing that you're removing. Sure, we can stretch out our walk across the stage. We can stretch out the caressing of our leg, but we could also stretch out taking off the last costume piece. Really make them beg, you know? Number 3, I struggle with this a lot. I'm working on it. I'm doing a group act right now that's really working on it and I'm having the most fun. And the takeaway is that politeness is the enemy of presence. Now, there's exceptions to every rule, okay? Politeness can be used on stage in very effective ways. But what I'm talking about is when we are not putting the bump in our bumps and not putting the grind in our grind, we're not taking up space, we're not taking risks. Burlesque is not dance, but it is physical. It could be physical humor, or it could be, you know, some type of acrobatics on a prop, I suppose, as long as you're still teasing. But the point is, even if you're, you know, not doing something crazy like a circus actor, you're not doing a bunch of pirouettes, it's still physical. And you can still use your body, work your body. That looks like different things to all of us, depending on our abilities, depending on our concepts, depending on our themes. But I bet you're already getting some ideas in that clever head of yours as I'm talking about this, so you already know. Okay, so don't shrink. Don't be polite. Don't, you know, do something as bold as audacious as striptease and then apologize for it, because that's no fun. Claim your space. Here's a good judge. If you're like, I think I can do this, I think I can do this, can you take a compliment? If I looked you in the eyes and gave you a genuine, heartfelt compliment, would you take it? That's a good judge. I'm still working on it. I have a hard time taking compliments sometimes. It makes me uncomfortable. I'm working on that so that I can take up space. Hold your court. If you are one of those people and this just comes naturally to you, let us know in the comments. How do you do it? We want to know. Okay, presence is not about being liked. Okay, I think especially for femmes, we're kind of taught to be palatable. Don't make too much noise. Don't, you know, be polite and all this kind of stuff. But that's a bunch of horse hockey, and we're going to reject that right here, right now, in virtually every arena of our life, okay? Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So how we approach the burlesque stage is how we should approach life, in my humble opinion. So presence is not about being liked, but it is about being undeniable. Don't be afraid to be polarizing. Not everyone's going to like your choices, but a lot of people will, and you will find those people. The more out there you are, the more, I want to say unapologetic. That doesn't mean you can be an asshole, but the more unapologetic, the more authentic you are, the more risks you take that truly cause no harm to, that caused no harm to anyone, but just our artistic creative risk. That's where a lot of the magic is. And finally, number 4, I already tapped into this a little bit at the beginning. It deserves a section all on its own. Slow burn without intention will always feel flat. Similar to people who do everything right, technically proficient, their timing is good, they have musicality, their costume works, but it's missing something, it's missing something. What is it? It's probably the intention. It's probably this idea of just doing your routine at the audience and not maybe performing for them or, you know, with them almost. You know, it's keeping that fourth wall up. So you can do everything right and still feel a little forgettable. Slowness isn't automatically sexy or powerful. It has to have a certain motivation, a certain intention, and it also needs to have some type of framework and pacing that keeps a certain energy moving forward and halts it at the right moment and makes it more tense when you want. You know, it's a complicated kind of thing. So if you really want to, you know, tap into this, my best advice for you is to get very, very specific. A lot of times I will tell my clients to develop an internal monologue for their whole act, and it can really help you be expressive. Even if you think that you're not giving face, if you're having these thoughts, you are seeing it on your face, I promise. And the more you start to do that and be intentional with your thoughts while you're performing, the better. So just get really connected with your act. Maybe you're doing something highly conceptual and you already know the whole story, right? I don't know. Okay, but you have like a whole story. But it could be like, I don't know, I like the song, I like this costume, I don't know, it feels sexy, I want to feel sexy, I want to do something glamorous. Those are the types of acts where you just, that is not enough. You really need to understand, okay, well, what is it, right? Sexy and glamorous, but what kind? Are you accessible, warm, and welcoming? Are you a little cold and standoffish? Are you enjoying some type of power dynamic exchange, or are you instigating a party? There's so many different flavors and levels and personalities and character and style that you can draw from and be inspired from, even when you're doing a slow burn classic tease. So it's not just glam and sexy. It's not just, oh, I'm being powerful and femme. It's still telling a story. A lot of times, like, I'm really inspired by color, and I think about different color energy and how that makes me feel, and that becomes a narrative and a concept. So don't be afraid to find any kind of inspiration that works well for you, but no matter what you do, have a deep and specific connection to your work, even if it's not necessarily a narrative type act. Little simple things, like before you take off a corset or something, and just, you could just pause and be like, no, I think I'll make y'all wait a little bit longer. You know, that kind of pause and attitude adjustment can actually get more reaction from the audience. Just having little subtle shifts like that. These are the types of things that you experiment with in front of a live audience. These are the types of things that can take months, years to develop over time. It's kind of like paying your dues, but then sometimes you just get lucky and you do something on stage, you get a big reaction, you clock it, and you do it over and over again, and that's how you start to develop personal style. All right, so just in quick summary, the 4 things that I saw that were pretty common in my coaching sessions from the last month was number 1, don't need more moves, you need more focus. Tip number 2, make the tension unbearable for the audience. Really tease them. Don't just give it to them when they expect it, every time they expect it. Keep them on their toes. 3, politeness is the enemy of presence. Don't be afraid to be polarizing. Don't be afraid to be authentically you, and don't be afraid to take a few risks. We don't want to infringe on anyone's basic human rights, and we don't want to be jerks about anything, but we certainly can reject this idea that we have to be palpable to everyone, okay? You can be your weird, freaky little self. We love to see it. Finally, number 4, a slow burn without intention falls flat. So it's not powerful just to be slow. It's wielding your power. It's having that internal dialogue. It's creating a story. It's creating a dynamic. It's creating a narrative, even if your act is glamorous, moody, and sexy, or cheesecake, pinup, and cute. It doesn't matter. We still have something going on upstairs that helps us emotionally connect to our moves, emotionally connect to the audience, and emotionally connect to our act. And it just keeps us inspired and fun. Okay, so I'm going to be doing all these things. I'm performing this weekend in LA at Burlesque. It's my very first time doing the show. I'm very excited. And then, oh, I can't talk about that. That's all I can talk about. I'll tell y'all what's going on the week after that when I'm allowed to. I'm going to open up my books for June soon, but it doesn't matter when you're watching this video. If you want some one-on-one private tailored coaching for your burlesque act, specifically when it comes to choreography, mindset, confidence, and presence, I would love to help you out. I have information on how you can book with me linked in the description below. I will see y'all Friday. I will be releasing episode 3, 4, I don't know, some episode of Burlesque Playbook. And you can also take classes with me online. I have my website and everything linked. I think I do. I better. I hope you'll have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.